And then the last pest we'll talk about are snails and slugs, because this is definitely the time for them. They like cooler temperatures, they like moisture, and they like darkness. Snails can live for 15 years, and they were brought to this country to eat as escargot, but unfortunately now they just eat our plants. So we're going to go through the IPM steps. We're going to prevent snails from coming into our garden by avoiding plants that they like agapanthus, ivy, lilies, hosta. We're going to remove any debris like pots and boards that they might hide under. And we're going to water early in the morning so that the soil has time to dry out. And we're going to avoid overwatering, which will also help with your plants in general. If we do see some chewing damage, snails and slugs leave chewing damage, and then they also will leave slime trails. So that's a clue that that's what the problem is. With snails and slugs, you'll see this like weird, clear, mucusy thing around your plants. If you have that damage, we're going to focus on some cultural controls by, again, removing places where they can live and plants that they like. We're going to add chunky arbor mulch, which they apparently don't like to crawl over it, so that can help. They sell chunky arbor mulch at Linkso in San Carlos. And then if we need to opt for some mechanical controls, we're going to hand pick. That's the most old-fashioned mechanical control there is. We're going to go out at night. We're going to take a flashlight and we're going to inspect our plants top and bottom, making sure we're seeing all of the leaves. We're going to use gloves when we do this. Pick off our snails and slugs with gloves and put them in some soapy water. Snails and slugs have been known to transmit rat lungworm disease, which is a really awful toxic disease for humans. It has not been detected in California yet, but it has been detected in the United States. So we want to make sure that we're using gloves when we touch snails and slugs. We can also use copper barrier tape around pots and raised beds, or you can wrap some around like the top of a yogurt cup and wrap it around seedlings. Snails and slugs don't like to crawl or slide over copper. I think it gives them sort of like an electric shock or something. So they'll hopefully stay away. And then you can also create a board trap like the image on the right. That is, as I said, they like to hide under boards and pots, so use it to your advantage. You can create a board trap with just a board raised a little bit off the ground, put it out, and they'll hide under it in the heat of the day to get out of the sun and the heat. And so you can lift it up and just scrape the snails and slugs off into some soapy water. If you do need to resort to a chemical control, Sluggo or some other iron phosphate bait can be very effective and is safe. You want to avoid any bait that contains metaldehyde as the ingredient, because that is extremely toxic to dogs. And then of course we're going to monitor and see if they're causing any more damage or if they've gone away.